Folks, how you doing? I am Sean in Alaska. It's good to see you. Good to hang out with you. Let me know down in the chat real quick if the video and the audio is decent, good, bad, or indifferent. Russell, you got my message. Cool. Anyway, I decided to do this from the trailer today because the temperature last night. Well, let me throw the banner. I think it's a banner that I throw up there. We show you right there. Today's low was -12 or 24 below zero, and the current temp is -5 or 20 below zero. So, yeah, super chilly. And while I had the inside of the cabin pretty toasty warm yesterday, I'm like, yeah, you know what? I'm cold this morning. I'm not going to go fight that and set everything up. So hopefully everything's going good here. Nobody's commented and said you can't hear anything or see anything yet. We jump back up to the top and say hello to everybody that's in here. Here's what I like to do. The way I like to do these. If you have a question for me, by all means, ask it. If I have not answered it, do me a favor and ask it again. Put it in caps. I'm not going to intend to skip over anybody's question whatsoever, even if it's a little question or a huge question. I want to answer it for you. Also, I like to say hello to everybody that's in the chat. So you can kind of tell where I'm at by what I'm saying in the chat and what's going on. And if you need a calendar for this year, I keep forgetting to do this. I pinned it up in the comment section. So that link will take you to a calendar. The proceeds go obviously to support what I'm doing here, but all the pictures in the calendar were taken by me, and every year there's some beautiful pictures in there. I'm sure there's a few folks in here who have gotten it already, so you guys let everybody know what you think of the calendar for this year. Rebel Canners, good to see you. Waiting for the live. Jerry, wood stove. You know it's cold when the deck cover makes a loud thump sound. I feel you, amigo, out there. It's burr. So it was so chilly this morning, and unfortunately I had the small. I have the big buddy heater going right now, but I had the small buddy heater going. Then I woke up this morning. It could not get above 50 degrees in this trailer, and then down here on the floor it was frozen. Matter of fact, my sink is completely frozen. So I've got under the cabinets opened up so that the joint, the U in there, and that was on me because I didn't use the normal RV antifreeze that I put in the drains. I forgot to put it in there, but so I'm trying to get that to all thaw out. But when I walked in the cabin to get the bigger buddy heater, the floor was just cracking as I was walking on it. Scotty's Backyard Barbecue. Scotty's out recording a video. Hope you can make it back soon, brother. Rob on the internet. Good to see you, my friend. Jess, obviously, Russell let you know, or you remembered from last night that I was going live today. Rain Dance Bushcraft, great channel. Rob on the internet. I said hi to you. Alan. Is there going to be room for all of us in the trailer? This time of year, it's a little crowded because everything has to be inside. It can't be outside. We'll find room. We'll make room for friends, right? Everybody saying hi to everybody. Susan Williams, good to see you. Glad you could make it today. Sunshine Leah, good to see you as well. Are you out of town with the kids? Okay, awesome. Have fun with them. You don't have to hang here if you're hanging with your family. By all means. I appreciate anybody who comes in and even just says hi. So that's always awesome to me. Built on the Rock Homestead, good to see you as well. Christine Green, my cousin Chris. How you doing, girl? Congratulations, by the way, because I haven't actually physically seen you since then, but congratulations on your marriage and congratulations on becoming a mother-in-law. Very cool. Glad to see your son got married as well. Hope to hook up with you guys when I get down south this next season. But it's good to see you, Christine, as always. Let's start a fire for Sean. No, let's not start a fire in the trailer because Sean's not ready for the cabin yet. Close though. Oh, it's getting so close. And I've got the independent camera working again. So next week when we go live from the cabin, because we will be live from the cabin, I'll be able to move the camera around and show you guys what's going on inside there. Bob's Hope, hello in Minnesota. I imagine you're a bit chilly this time of year as well. David Evans, glad you could make it, David. Hope you're having a good Sunday as well. Hope everybody's having a wonderful Sunday and a wonderful weekend. JD from SC, good to see you, brother. Glad you could make it. Best to Rhonda, as always. Hope you guys had a wonderful new year. Hope you're doing fantastic right now. Russell from Raspberry Rock. I said hi to you already, Russell. Charles and Annalyn from the Philippines. Glad to see you guys. Awesome that you can make it. Bernice, good to see you as well. Ward. Yo, what's up, brother? Sound checks good. Right on. Howie at Food Forest Permaculture. Glad you could make it, my friend. Good to see you. Jim at Woolly Rhino Adventures. Good to see you. Good afternoon. A little chilly this morning again, huh, Jim? Man, you know what, though? I'm not really complaining because this winter has been so mild. It is crazy. Our low temperature of the year so far out here at the property is 31 degrees below zero Fahrenheit, which is equal to minus 35 Celsius. So that's a chilly day. Don't get me wrong. But where we would normally have 20 below for a week or two, we haven't seen that, knock on wood. And I'm pretty happy that we haven't seen that. As a matter of fact, starting tomorrow and for the rest of the week, we're supposed to go back up into the 20s again. Morton, glad you can make it, man. You've been powering through my videos every day. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. I love it. Big Bear, good to see you, my friend. Glad you can make it. Bill Thorrock, last Sunday during this live, an ibex showed up in my yard. She's been visiting off and on all week, but stayed all day yesterday. Very cool. Ibex are just awesome. Ibex are a beautiful, beautiful creature. Renice, I think I'm quite a ways away from how I'm going to actually decorate the cabin yet. First, I have to get walls on the cabin on the inside before I even begin to think about that. I guess, though, that would be considered part of decorations. I've made incredible progress on the cabin this weekend. I took Friday off as a vacation day, and I'm going to do the same thing next weekend, so 3-day weekends. Hang on one second. And I got a ton done. I've got half of the insulation and the ceilings done. All right, I have the other half to do, and the only reason why I stopped is because I ran out of insulation. So I have to swing by the orange store tomorrow and pick up the last 9 rolls of insulation for the ceiling. I have a gable end in the front that I have to insulate that I was waiting because I need the scaffolding down at that end of the cabin when I do it. But once that gable end is done, I will be 100% insulated. Then it's vapor barrier time. And honestly, from that point, pretty close to move-in time from that point on. But yeah, so got a lot done, and I can't wait to get in there myself. Swen, good to see you as well. Happy Sunday, Nettie Goat Acres. Glad you could make it. Northeast Texas is 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Scotty, cold outside. Glad you're inside. What's your temperature there, Scotty? Scotty's in Wisconsin, guys, and he's just a grilling maniac. And he was shooting a video at the beginning when I was getting ready to go live. So apparently he's at the point now where he's going to do the reveal and the cut and everything on that. Very cool. Henry Leslie, Vermont. Good to see you, my friend. Glad you could make it. Norway. Yep, that's what I figured when I kept seeing the Norwegian flag. I thought that might be where you were from. Very cool. Glad you could make it. Todd, did you call for freezing fog today? I did not. I didn't see any fog at the house today, Todd. So if you had fog, I think it was just your yard. But I had minus 12 for my low temperature here. I'm curious what you had across the street over at your place, because you always seem to have a bit of a different temperature than I do. So post that in the comment section if you would. Everybody saying hi to Ward. Scott saying hi to everybody. And we've got Paris, France here. So we've got Norway, Paris, France, and the Philippines. That is awesome. Totally a worldwide web right now. That's awesome. I love that. That is super cool. Thank you very much, Johanna. I really appreciate that. Ward, it's a wonderful day in the butt-chilling neighborhood. I had a question. I had a comment from a viewer on one of my videos. It might have been this Friday's video, but it was a question with a follow-up. Shoot, and I'm spacing the name of who did it, but they asked me for footwear, what do I do? So generally I'm wearing the hikers, when it's just everyday temperatures. As it starts to get chilly, I have a pair of mucks that come up just below my knee. And I usually throw those on because those are pretty decent, even though they're rubber. They're pretty decently insulated. And what you see me wearing most of the time that I'm working in the cabin are what are called Chemics. And that is, oh, I'll get up here. That's these. They're not a great snow boot. They're an okay snow boot. They're good to about 10 below zero. But today was chilly, so today I was wearing the Baffins. These come out of Canada, and they say they're good to about, I think it was rated at 90 below. I don't know because I've never been in that cold of a temperature, but I have worn these in 30 below and gone walking in them, and man, my feet are so toasty warm, it's crazy. So today was a Baffin day. Big dreams on a tiny budget. Glad to see you. Hope you are doing well. 73 degrees in Florida today. Navy Dave checking in. Awesome. Glad to see you, Navy Dave. I'm sure you have some images in your head. I do. I have some visualizations of what I want to see when I'm done. That's for sure. Natasha, good to see you. Thank you very much. It is coming along pretty awesome right now. Built on the Rock said they had a 39 Fahrenheit low and a 66 current temp. That's not bad. I could live with that. Where was I at here? And across the street at Todd's house, minus 19 and his meadows fogged in. Yeah, I mean, over here I don't have the fog sitting on the property right now. So, yeah, and I knew you'd be colder than I was. 82 in gun range today. Lord Vader. Darth Vader, good to see you, my friend. Glad you can make it. Right, Jess? Baffins are just, oh my gosh. And they're comfortable. They are so comfortable. It's crazy. And Suzanne's Sweet Kitchen, happy Sunday to you as well. Okay, well, that covers pretty much everybody that we had. I'll leave Suzanne's comment up there so that I know where I'm at. So I've been doing shorts on Monday, Wednesday, and then the long form video on Friday, and then obviously lives on Sunday now too. And in my Wednesday short, I discussed the chicken. So it didn't have as much play as normally. I'll get 1,000 views on one of those, but it didn't get as many views. So I'll update everybody here. With the early super cold weather that we got, I lost 2 of the red hens. And I think I lost them more than anything else because for whatever reason, they decided they were going to go into molt as we hit winter. And there's nothing I could do. I can't bring them into the trailer. I can't put a heater out there because I'm off grid. I have no way to do it. I think there were some failures on my part after reading up some of the stuff I could have done better. But it was a live and learn situation. By the time I realized the first one was in trouble, I put a box together for it, threw a bunch of nesting material in there, put it in the box with the nesting material, gave it its own food, its own water, but it was too late. And then a couple of days later, I lost another one. And it was definitely sad because, you know, I raised those things from chicks, and I haven't lost any chickens. Those are the first 2 that I lost. But I will end this on a happy note. The other 7 birds that I have left of the reds are doing much better, and they're starting to fill in. And I think I've got a handle on how to help them survive the extremely cold weather. And again, we haven't been super, super cold this year like we were last year. The black birds, the black Australorps that I have, are fully feathered and have no problem at all. They've got some frostbite on the combs, but the reds had that last year and they came back with no problem whatsoever. So short of, you know, insulating and heating the coop, there are a few things I could have done differently, and I'll discuss those probably in its own separate video because I've been threatening to do a chicken video to update you guys on how much money I made from them, how much food they paid for on themselves. Now I wish they were laying eggs, obviously, because with the price of eggs, I'd probably be retired next week. But let's end this on a positive note. So for the last week, I've been walking out every day, and every day I count the chickens because I just want to make sure everything's good and everything's working out right. So I count the reds, and all 7 are there. They're all fine. They're all perked up and happy, and you know, when I open the door to their coop, they come running over, and they know they're going to get fed or they know they're going to get water, but they're not lethargic at all. And then I count the blacks, and I keep ending up with 8. So I thought I had 9. I started with 11, and I lost 2. And I knew I lost the 2 because one jumped out, and then another got swooped from aerial predators in the yard. But man, I just kept getting 8 every single day, and I thought, this is crazy. What the heck is going on? So yesterday, when I got back from the orange store with an insulation run, because I wanted to have enough insulation to finish off the top of the loft in the ceiling, and I ended up getting a couple extra rolls so that I could take it to the halfway point. I get back, I come into the trailer, and I'm getting all dressed up to go out in the cabin, which is like, double hoodies, extra socks, all that fun stuff. And I go walking back out the door, and there is a chicken sitting at the back of the truck, just sitting there, kind of like hunched down, And I go walking up, and I go, "What are you doing?" Because the chickens notoriously can jump over the fence still. So I pick this chicken up, and the minute I pick it up, it tucks its head under my arm, and I'm kind of consoling it and petting its back, and I realize the chicken seems a little cold on the outside. Now, mind you, the chicken's feet were warm. The chicken breast under my arm was warm, so the chicken was not cold. But I walk over to put the chicken in, and I count, and there's 8 chickens. So here's chicken number 9 that's been missing for a week. And she was absolutely fine. I put her in there. She didn't actually want to jump out of my arm because I think she was getting all toasty warm with me. But finally, when I put her back in the run, she, ran over, got some water, ran over, got some food. I think she jumped the fence, and she's either been living under the trailer or under the cabin. So good news on that front. I did lose 2 of the reds, but I did gain a black one. So very, very cool as far as that goes. Everybody's saying hi to everybody else. We have Ryan Williams. Roll. Good to see you, my friend. Glad you can make it. Oh, he lives around Wasilla. Very cool. Another Alaskan. Very awesome. Renee, she loves the shorts. Good. I like doing them because they're fun to kind of update, and I can cover something in less than a minute. That may answer somebody's questions. And sometimes I'll do that. Sometimes the short will be based on a question, like the Eagles. Karen wanted to see the Eagles, wanted to know how they were doing, so I did a quick short on the Eagles, the mating pair that we have down the road here. Somebody had asked about the chickens, so I just did a quick short on that as well, just to keep everybody updated with what's going there. Here in Wasilla, it's minus 20°C. Yep, you're 5 below zero there as well. Okay. Alan says 42F and gloomy in central North Carolina. Typical winter weather. Yeah. Scotty's got chickens this year as well. He's got his reds in the garage, but the water still freezes. I've given up on leaving fresh water out for the chickens. So what I do is, like, I'll walk out after this live is over, and I'll grab their water pot because the water jug just froze solid, and it'll be that way till April or May. And I've got a big, like a 4-quart sauce pot, and I'll bring it in, put it on the stove, thaw it out. Usually I'll do that and give them, just top off their water for 2 days, and then I'll change it out completely. Every 3rd day or 4th day now, I'm putting in some organic apple cider vinegar. And then I just take the pot out, and the reds get the water first in the coop because obviously they're, going through the molt, and I want to make sure that they get taken care of as far as that goes. And then the blacks get the water afterwards. And then, when they're all done with it, I may take the water and just put it back up in the red scoop so they can sip on it some more. But there's no way you're going to stop the water from freezing up here this time of year. Again, if I had a heater, if I had the ability to heat the water, I might be able to, but I don't have that ability. I'm off the grid. I can't afford that kind of power. David's asking, are the reds my new chickens? No, those are the reds are the first chicks that they're the ones that are in the beginning of that little intro video that we do when I go live. Those are the first chicks that I got here. First chickens I've ever had in my life. The new chickens are the blacks, the black Australorps. Yep, there we go. Alan got it. Ryan says on December 19th to 27th, you were minus 18°C to minus 20. Yeah, we were a little chilly too, but I think you guys were colder than we were at that point. I'm going to do some stuff with the chicken coop and the chicken run this summer. I'm going to change it up. I want to, while I'm really happy with how that original chicken coop turned out, I want to build a big enough one that I can walk into and clean, as opposed to trying to reach all the way to the other end and scrape everything back. So I'll probably build a new chicken coop this year. And with that, I'll build a bigger covered area for them to run in. But there's nothing that's going to keep them warm. And especially when they start to molt and lose their feathers, that's crazy. There's nothing that'll keep them warm. Ryan says, cool fact, 1972 Alaska, it was minus 79 Fahrenheit. Oh, wow. Wow. I've been in minus 63 in Fairbanks when I lived up there, but I've never been that cold. That's cold. Joe Dyson from Down Under. How you doing, Joe? Good to see you. So we've got Australia, Paris, France, the Philippines, and Norway, as well as the United States in here. Awesome. I love when that happens, man. I love when we get a big group of people. Henry Leslie, thanks for hanging out with me for a little bit here today. Greatly appreciate it. Hope you have a wonderful week. Yeah, come by, Ward, if it warms up. If we get to like, it's -4 right now. So if we get to like 5 or 6 degrees above zero, swing on by. If not, I'm not going out to the cabin. Oliver Jackson, how are you, my friend? 71 degrees in San Antonio, and you're watching Dallas and Washington. All right, very cool. A little football on for this Sunday. Renice is asking if there's any way to put a heated dish in their coop. There is, but I don't have the power to generate the heat or the electricity. I don't have the ability to generate the power that would be required to heat that bowl. Uh, but honestly, if I just keep walking out there, making sure everybody gets their full drinks, and they'll stay hydrated, they'll be fine. Ron wants to know how old I am. I turned 60 years old last year. I'll be 61 this year. What's my plan for electricity in my cabin? Russell asks. So, um, in a video a couple of weeks ago, when I think I was starting the installation, I kind of discussed this. It's going to be very limited. I have very limited electricity here. I don't need a whole lot of electricity. So, where the staircase is going to go up to the loft against the back wall, underneath there will be my power wall. I've already cut a hole through for the generator line that runs out to, because I'm going to obviously in the winter, even with solar panels, I'm going to need extra power for that to top everything off. But I'm thinking that my power requirements are going to be very, very limited. I need, enough power to run this 32-inch monitor when I'm editing, and to run my hard drives and stuff that I have. Other than that, I don't need a whole lot of power. There'll be some minor lights in the place, but generally speaking, it's going to be pretty minor, and it's going to be solar, obviously batteries, a battery bank with solar for the primary for a little over half the year, and generator backup for the other half of the year. But nothing fancy, no toasters or anything like that. Trail Camp Pete, how you doing, my friend? Good to see you as well. Cars can't work in weather of -35 to -40 F. Yes and no. When I lived in Fairbanks, I had a diesel pickup truck, and for 3 weeks, it was 45 below zero. As long as you keep them plugged in so that oil can circulate through that block, they'll run. When you go see a movie in Fairbanks in the middle of winter, or you go do anything inside in the middle of Fairbanks or in Fairbanks in the middle of winter, you just leave your vehicle locked and running in the parking lot. So that way you don't have to deal with getting into a cold vehicle or trying to start that thing when you're done. But I've seen that a lot lately, and vehicles will in fact run and start and operate. I mean, up at Prudhoe Bay in the North Slope, I've got a buddy up there that works safety for a couple of different companies. And he was telling me, showing me pictures of driving through a blizzard up there at, -90 with a wind chill. And they're driving gasoline vehicles up and down the slope up there, getting from oil rig to oil rig. So it's not good for them, but yeah, they'll work. Scotty was at 0 this morning, warmed up to 21. Okay. You were thinking they wouldn't fly out. They do. And part of it could be too that because the snow is getting so deep that there's areas they can jump onto and then take off from there. But generally they don't really fly out of the roost area. Have I checked on a prefab shed for the chicken coop? Got a 10, yeah, for 20. I could build it for a lot less than that. And I've kind of got a building bug right now. I'm going to build as much as I can while I still can. I think I could probably put together a nice 10 by 10 coop up here for less than $1,000. Sure, I've got to build it myself, but it's always fun, and that's content for videos, right? David's asking, is getting overhead power to my property an option? There is no overhead power in the area that I'm at. If I were to bring power in, it would all have to be brought in underground. That's the power in this area. And it would cost me roughly $40,000 to bring it to this property. I did look at it. I see no sense in paying $40,000 for electricity and then having to pay an electrical bill every month when I don't have to. If I've learned anything these 3 winters of living in this trailer on this property, it's that I don't use as much electricity as I thought I needed in the past. And I don't see myself going back to needing that electricity in the future. It's just, for me, it's just a no-brainer to be completely off-grid and stay that way. Yeah, Scotty, exactly. They start to make funny noises till they warm up. Diesels, or they sound like they're going to explode. Karen, welcome. Glad you could pop in. Glad I could see you again, my friend. Russell, we'll talk. We'll definitely talk. I had a couple of people, Ward and Todd actually, were both telling me, well, you're going to want to switch here, and you're going to want this here, and you're going to. And when I was insulating the whole thing, I stopped because I said, okay, I got to go get wire, and I thought, I don't want any power on those walls. I don't need it. You know, my outside entrance light that will be on the front of the cabin will be a motion activated solar light. I don't need. Uh, I'm kind of techie. I'm way past the stage where I have to have anything that is electric anymore, generally speaking. So yeah, we'll talk, but especially since your system's so freaking awesome, and since you did that for part of that for many years, I definitely want to get your input on it. Ryan, I don't sound 60s. Okay, well, cool. I was born in 1962. That's awesome. I'm glad. I don't feel 60. I'll tell you that. I think I felt 60 when I was 40, but now I don't. Now I feel 40 when I'm 60. Ranger Mark, NPS Nevada, cover the radiator intake when it's that cold. Exactly. So in Fairbanks, what we would do is we just get a big piece of cardboard and cover up almost the entire front of the radiator for the winter while you're driving. Then as you got closer to spring and you saw the temperature starting to go up, you could either cut that in half and run a half a piece, or you could just go ahead and pull it out completely. But it really makes a difference, especially on the heater. Homestead Aquarius, glad you can make it. Awesome to see you. Dan Lehman, good to see you, my friend. Sorry I got here a bit late. Glad to see things are going. Not a problem at all, man. Whenever you get here is right on time. I greatly appreciate it. I am, folks, so you know, I run that little video at the very beginning of the lives, and I do that on purpose because if you're not like a premium YouTube member, when a video like this, when a live starts, you're going to see a bunch of commercials in the front, and then you come into the live late. So I run that little segment of video so that when we start, we all start together. Obviously, if you come in after we start, you might get a commercial and you're going to miss that video and everything else. But you're here when we start, you'll see that. And I'm going to update that video probably this week. That was what I did 2 years ago. We're going to do one with what I did last year, and I think it's going to be pretty awesome. Right? Yeah, they did and they didn't. They walk. The natives up here walked everywhere. But natives everywhere, I think, walked everywhere too. But they definitely were more in sync with, and are more in sync with, the seasons up here than most of us, white guys. Definitely. LaRue, good to see you. Glad you could make it from Iowa. Stay warm there. I'm getting warm today. Right, Scotty? For $40,000 plus a monthly utility bill, and Brother Will pays $200 plus a month during the winter for just for his power, not counting the fuel that he uses for his Toyo stove. For $40,000, I could build a system in the cabin that would run everything on the planet. Use a generator for several years and not get close to the cost of land. Exactly. The generator that I have, the Westinghouse generator that I have, cost me, I think, $800. And I've had that now for, on the property running for 3 years. Runs like a top. It runs great. I could buy, at $1,000 a piece, I could buy 10 Battle-Born 100 amp hour lithium iron phosphate batteries. And I could buy a big enough generator to top those off and enough solar panels to make sure those things never ran out, and still probably not even hit 20 grand. So yeah, it makes no sense at this point. I have natural gas that runs down the road across the street, and I could plug into that as well. But I don't want to pay to have it brought on, and I don't want the monthly bill when I'm done. I can be off grid here. I want to stay off grid here. I have a neighbor back over next to me over there that's 100% off grid, but they're only most of the people around here are only seasonal. They come up for a couple of weeks in July for the salmon. So it's just so peaceful and awesome here. And with my generator running, Todd lives, you saw Todd, the guy that's helped me in my videos, lives across the street and just down the road from me. And he told me, dude, I can't hear your generator ever when it's running, which is awesome. So, running a bit in the winter like I am right now for this, but never going to pay that kind of money. Never going to pay that kind of money. It's more just the wiring layout once the walls are sealed. Yeah. No, I know that. And that's why I have a plan for where my power is going to be, and it's all going to be on internal walls under the loft. because the stairs are going to come up and meet the loft. That will all be closed in, and I could run it through the upstairs loft floor. I could run it through those rafters and wire it at down the road without any problem at all. Do I believe there's a possibility for Sasquatch, Bigfoot, Harryman in Alaska, Canada? I have no idea, Ryan. When I was younger, I used to look at all those pictures and have a blast with them. But I don't know. And if there are, good for them. Yeah, let them be. That's as far as I'm concerned. But I don't really get into that. William, good to see you. Yeah, I believe, I understand the whole don't seal the walls in before you run the wiring, because then you're going to have to go back. But I mean, honestly, I could do floor outlets if I wanted, because I haven't sealed the underside of the cabin yet. But all of my power will be run on internal walls, which will avoid that whole problem whatsoever, except for obviously the ceiling fan and stuff on top. But I could run those through the back and up. So yeah, it won't be a problem at all. All right, let's see what else we got here. Jerry says, from one old guy to another, put some extra wire in now. And if you don't use it's okay, but you still be glad. They're already sealed, Jerry. I've already got the insulation, and I'm not going to go back and do it again. I see myself going the other direction and getting less and less power, less and less power requirement than I do see myself go the other direction and getting more and more power required. Then you go to Acres. If you find the need for an outlet, you can run wiring on the outside wall, akin to what Cabin Dweller did. Yeah, right. Yeah, Stacy did that on her place too, but she was working with logs, and it's a lot harder to run power in the logs unless you're putting it in there when you're setting the logs, because her place is log. But yeah, I mean, there's always going to be a solution down the road. My main goal right now is just to get this place closed in enough so that I can say goodbye to this trailer and move in and be warm. Yes, there will be eagles in the new intro. Matter of fact, Karen, you got a calendar. So the pictures, some of the pictures that I took of the eagles down in Homer last year will definitely be in that new intro, because I got some great, great pictures of those eagles there. Plan your electrical and plumbing needs based on a 10-year plan. Also, if you ever have to sell your place, it'll be easier to unload if it's rough for plumbing, electrical. So for the record, I will have this place till I die. I will never sell this place. My children will have this place when they're done. And if they want to come in and make the changes, God bless them. They're more than willing to, or more than welcome to. But I will be the last owner of, well, this will be my last property. I shouldn't even say that, because I want to do something else down the road too. But I will have this place until I'm no longer in a place at all. So I am going to be the last guy. This will not be sold, at least as it stands now, unless I become somebody like Sean James, where I'm super, super famous and somebody wants to give me a ton of money for this place, in which case they won't care, right? Because they'll be getting Sean's place. Thank you, Karen. I appreciate that. If you guys hit the like button, it does tell YouTube, hey, this is interesting. Let's get this out to some other folks. They may want to see it as well. David, we'll get a tour of your trailer before moving to the cabin. You'll get a tour of what it looks like when it's empty and gutted, when I've got everything out of here. And I don't mean gutted, because the refrigerators, all the appliances and everything are staying in here. I'm going with a whole different set of appliances for the cabin. But yeah, I'll walk you guys through here when I empty it all out. Definitely. I think I walked in an early video a long time ago when I first bought this trailer. I think I walked everybody through it as I was just getting it together and cleaning it up over at Brother Will's place. You see, to me, that's awesome, because Ryan's comment here, because if it doesn't exist, then why does every indigenous people and settler have a name for it? So obviously there was something there. I don't know if it still is, but who knows? There probably was. Right? You have 40 grand to buy a real nice. It'll buy an awesome system, especially for one guy, right? Especially for a single person who doesn't need that much. Mike at Not So Remote, Alaska. Good to see you, my friend. Lunchtime, I had mine just before I got started here. Long's Quest, glad you could make it as well. Awesome to see you. Yeah, David, they're nuts, right? Oh, it's crazy how much people pay for power. It's crazy. And you start to take stuff for granted. Everything is plugged in. Everything you buy it, you plug it in. Oh, that'll look nice on my kitchen counter. My kitchen counters are going to have almost nothing on them because I'm going to work on them. Yeah, so it's just for me. It's like a gateway drug. It's a gateway drug to too many appliances. Do I do the scheduled maintenance on the generator? I had to do the first 250 hours check on valve adjustment. Yours was fine. So I haven't done a deep one yet. Luckily, Todd lives across the street, and Todd's into all that kind of mechanical stuff. So I'd like to get with him and go through the whole thing as soon as summer gets here, and I'm getting all the power I need off the solar panels. But I do all the oil changes and plug changes myself. So yeah, I take care of all that. I do oil changes roughly every 50 hours on the generator, and I run full synthetic in it. And I run I don't know, it's 530 or I think it's 530 synthetic in there. And then I have a box of spark plugs. So when it's time to go change the spark plug, I've always got oil and spark plugs here. So I do maintain all of that as well. That is key to making sure it lasts a long time, is to make sure you're up on the maintenance. Lone Wolf, good to see you, my friend. Glad you could make it. I'll just give Bigfoot Warts beer. Yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to that too, because the loft is a lot warmer. The floor of the loft is a lot warmer than the floor of the cabin at this point. So yeah, definitely. Jerry, I like the confidence. I may lack a lot of things in my life, Jerry, but confidence is not one of them. I honestly believe that there is nothing on this planet that I cannot do. There's nothing I can't teach myself. I honestly believe that. Except maybe how to play a musical instrument. It's cursed me for years. But I have them, and I'm going to learn. I'm going to defeat them. Russell, how long do you figure it is until I can turn YouTube into a full-time job? 4 years from now. Yeah, I think 4 years from now it'll be a full-time job. That's if I retire at 65. So I have no idea. But I am really, really jealous of people that can do that, because for me, if I didn't have to go to work every day, I definitely would. My life would be so much more fulfilling to just be able to work on stuff here all the time and to explore Alaska all the time. So it would be super, super awesome, but guaranteed by 65 if I want. Crazy Bird Farm, good to see you. Glad you could make it. Very impressed with all your thought process and planning for the cabin. You should feel proud of what you've done. Mike and April, I appreciate that. You have no idea how many times I have gone, oh, that was not the right way to do it. Ward can tell you. Word can tell you how many times I've done something, and he'd come back and he'd say, why'd you do it that way? And that's all he has to say. And I look at it and I go, I probably should have done it this way, huh? And he goes, there you go. You think? David says, I'm going to install a wood stove in your garage workshop this spring. Do people recommend going through the wall or roof with stovepipe? You could do either, but it doesn't make any difference whether you go through the wall or whether you go through the roof. You still have to extend your chimney, the peak of your chimney, to a certain elevation on your roof line to be able to draw. And that is a given, no matter whether you come out the side or you go out the top, from everything I've read. So Jay and Jen's off grid, ran theirs out the side, and Jay still had to go up with extra pipe. The benefit, I think, of running the pipe on the inside is obviously as that pipe is going up on the inside, you're getting radiated heat off that pipe as well as off the stove inside. You're not losing that heat to outside. So if you have room on the inside, I would run it up the inside. If you really don't, and it's like a ceiling in your garage and it's not really that big of a deal, you could run it up the side very easily. I might actually have that. I probably will actually have that done professionally just to make sure it's right. Ranger Mark, looking to live real close to land up there, still possible. It looks like it's a lifestyle off grid, or not. It is. It is very possible, and it's an incredible lifestyle. To me, it's probably the best decision I've ever made in my life. I enjoy every single day. When I get up in the morning to go to work, and I work at 4 in the morning, so I'm up at usually like 2:15 every morning, and there are no sounds whatsoever. And I stumble down the stairs from the the little loft area in the fifth wheel trailer here into the kitchen, and I hand grind my coffee as the water's boiling. It's just a routine, and I love it. I love every part of it. Right? Jerry says he'd go out the wall. He says his last wood stove was he went out the wall. Renee says they do exist. Cool. Yeah, this is the one benefit, right? You're clean out for your stovepipe. When you go out the wall and then up, it's a lot easier to clean that stovepipe because that stuff's not coming down into your house. Although nowadays, if you do it right, it doesn't come down into your living room either. Ravenous, how are you? Awesome. Thank you very much. Glad you could make it. Glad you made it to here. Jess says they use an embarrassing amount of power in his place, but honestly, if you have children, you're probably going to use. When I lived in California before I moved up here, I had everything. I had a 3-story, 5-bedroom house. Mom was living with me. My kids were living with me. My brother and his daughter were living with me. And the amount of power that we used just in washer and dryer alone was phenomenally ridiculous. But that's a given, right? Now when I do my laundry, I do it once a week, and it's 2 loads of clothes. And I stop off at the laundromat on the way home. I don't see that changing anytime soon. I would love to have a shower in the cabin. I am building a bathroom in there, but an on-demand gas water heater and a 12-volt RV pump will probably make that work with no problem at all. Yeah, see? Natural gas rates increased 61%. That's crazy. That's egg increase prices right there. Holy smokes. So even in the Philippines, electric bill runs between 9 and 11,000 pesos, or $200 American a month. Power is crazy. The cost of power is crazy. Karen's asking, how's the family? So I talked to my mom. She'll be 82 this year, this October. So I talk to mom once a week. She's doing great. Both my daughters are doing fantastic. My grandsons are doing great. My granddaughter she's just the cutest little thing in the world. She'll occasionally steal her mom's phone and call grandpa, and she's 2 years old. I love it. But they're doing fantastic. Everybody's doing wonderful, Karen. Thank you for asking. I hope your whole family's doing well as well. Mike says we use $30 to $36 a month of electricity, depending on the time of the year. Okay. But it's crazy too, right? Because your electric company is completely different than my electric company. So down here we have Homer Electric. I don't know who you have up there, Matsu, or I don't know the name of there, but the rates are all different. We're in California, pretty much everybody north of Fresno was PG&E, and I think south was like Con Edison. So, I mean, the rates were all the same. Speak of the devils, Jay and Jen, how you guys doing? Awesome to see you. I was just telling everybody how you installed your wood stove going out and up as opposed to just going up from inside the cabin. If you guys are not familiar with Jay and Jen, you definitely need to check them out. They are funny, awesome people, and they're just wonderful. They are wonderful folks. So definitely check out their channel, Off Grid with Jay and Jen. Good to see you guys. Glad you can make it. Russell, you know something? I thought that if anything was going to break me emotionally, it would be building this cabin. But in all honesty, the emotional highs have far exceeded the emotional lows. The feeling of accomplishment is something that everyone should feel in their lifetime. The kind of feeling that I've had from doing this cabin, it's just nuts. I love it. Yep, learning curve. Mary, I am live. I'm going live now every Sunday from 1 o'clock until 2, maybe a little after 2. Usually I'm pretty strict about an hour, but if the questions are still coming, we'll definitely keep it going for a bit more. But 1 p.m. Alaska time, which I believe, don't get me wrong, or don't quote me on this, is like 4 Eastern. We're 9 hours difference from Greenwich Mean Time here in Alaska. So 1 p.m. here, 2 p.m. in California, and then you guys could do the math going east from there. Ward says 2 feet above the ridgeline for the stovepipe. I knew it had to be above there just to get the right draw. I mean, you could put it at any height you want, but then you get the smoke in your house. It's so much better not to have a bend in your stovepipe. I believe that's true too for draw. I think that makes a big difference as well. Susan, great to see you. You're still in Washington. You'll be back in about a week. Awesome. We'll have to get together and make a trip down to Homer and maybe do one of the low tide hikes again, because that was a ton of fun. The video that I did with the low tide in Homer, I was down there with Susan and a friend of hers. She called me up and said, super low tide, you want to go? So we all went down there and did that. Known Susan for a long time. She's a school teacher up here, and she's just awesome people. But definitely, hope your mom is doing well. Hope your family's doing well down there. If you have to hear any encounters of hairy man in Alaska, look up Subarctic Alaska Sasquatch, and it's my distance counter, Fred Roll, ongoing encounters playing. Oh, very cool. Very cool, Ryan. That is neat. What temperature is perfect for me in the cabin? Probably about 65 to 68 would be awesome. 65 to 68 anywhere I've ever lived has been awesome. The main thing is not having the cold spots. So like right back here, I don't know if you can really see that. Oh, see this right here? That was frozen to the wall. If I can avoid those, I'm going to be very happy, Renice. Very happy. I had foam installed for insulation, 700 square foot, paid $1,200 pricey, but my floors are warm on cold days. Foam's a lot more expensive up here. I'm buying each one of the rafter valleys or bays, we'll call them, right? When I've got two rafters going side by side that I'm going to insulate up. Each one of those takes one roll, 25 feet of R30 insulation. So each one of those cost me $43. But insulation is an investment, right? It's one of those things that if you do now, you're going to save a whole lot of money and time down the road. So I'm trying to make sure that I do it right. My big fear was when I started to push that insulation up, because the stuff that I'm using in the ceiling is unfaced, so it doesn't have the paper. And the only reason why I use the faced with the paper downstairs is because I got a great deal on it. I bought it off the Facebook Marketplace, got a sweet deal on it. I was really worried that when I pushed that insulation up there, it was going to fall back down again. But my widths are perfect. I'm 16-inch on center on all those rafters, so it's 14.5 inches in that bay. So when I push that insulation up, I'm having to pull it down a little bit to fluff it back out, and it works really well. I don't see many people using heat exchangers on their inside pipe. That'll keep more heat in as well. Yep, it will. Awesome, Karen. Glad to see your family's doing well. Ryan, I'm 17 and 6 kid in my family. My grandpa's 80 in March, and my dad's mom, my mom, your great grandma's. Oh, wow, that's awesome. My grandmother lived to be 98. We were so excited for her to get to 100, and she was just done. But yeah, my mom's 82. Awesome, Ryan. That is freaking awesome. To have that many generations that you can ask questions of is a gift, man. It is an awesome thing. Geneva, good to see you. Glad you can make it. Pretty much all you have to do, Karen, is say, is the sun still working? That's the same question as, does Ward have a beer? Okay, 4 hours. Okay, good. I got that right, Mary. Awesome. Great grandpa or great grandma was born in 1923. Great grandpa was born in 43. Awesome. 80th birthday this year. Awesome. Oh, cool. Scotty's looking up and posting links here. Hopefully they're working. I can't really tell because I'm looking at this in the StreamYard screen. I'm not looking at the YouTube screen. So all my chat's in the same location, but I don't see a lot of the links. Ari Hill, hi Sean, wish you happy new year, but more than that, wish this project turns out just the way you want it to be. Thank you, Ari. I greatly appreciate that. It's turning out, even though it's kind of morphed and been changing. I'm really pretty flexible with how it goes because I can see a finished look in my head, and as long as I can get to that point or close to it, I will have succeeded. Matter of fact, I actually think at this point, with a roof on it and putting insulation on the inside, that I have succeeded already. I have done what I did not ever think I would be able to do. And I know my brothers are like, Mom, holy crap, he actually built a house. It's a good feeling. My kids are fired up about it too. True, Jerry, if you buy a good wood stove, right? Yeah, so Alaska had multiple time zones at one point, and then they went to, and I still think we are at two because the leading tip of the Aleutian Islands, I think, is in the Hawaiian time zone because they're actually in the same longitude, or what is that on the globe? That line, they're still in that same line with Hawaii. Whereas it was just a pain in the state to have multiple time zones, so they just put them all together in one. Cecilia, good to see you. Super awesome that you can make it today. I appreciate it. Terry Burns, glad you could make it as well. Very awesome. Right? So insulate well. Um, I I really wanted to do this live today from the loft because it looks completely different with as much insulation as I have up in there. And yesterday, I mean, I was peeling hoodies off. It was getting so nice. But it's also changed the entire sound of the inside of the cabin. So that echo, pretty much gone now. It's pretty much deadened that sound, and it's super super cool. I am not, and the reason I'm not going to heat my water through my wood stove is that is way above my ability to figure out, and B, everybody I know who's actually had that has had problems with their pipes by doing that. So what I'm going to do is an on-demand water heater. Since I have to have propane for the stove as well, might as well just use that, right? So I'll put maybe a 200-gallon water tank in the pantry, and then I could run the plumbing to the shower, which will be on this side, and I could run plumbing to the sink, which will be on that side. It's on an internal wall, so I never have to worry about it freezing inside the cabin as long as I keep the temperature up. And I'll probably use PEX piping because if that does freeze, it expands and contracts and won't shatter, won't break. So yeah, I'm not going to heat it through a wood stove. Diana, glad you can make it. 51 in Kansas. Am I putting any vents in my roof? I thank you very much. I appreciate that, Diana. No, I have what is called a hot roof. So the design of the roof does not require vents because unlike, and I'm going to pick on, I'm not going to pick on Jay and Jen because their roof is kind of similar to my roof. But let's pick on Mapleberry Farms. And so when they built their roof, they used they used trusses, and right above their ceiling is all their insulation laying flat on top of their ceiling with a huge air gap up above. So in that case, you put a vent in on both ends. But with a hot roof, there is no air gap. It's in my case, it'll be metal roofing, material that I'm going to put on the roof, the sheeting, the insulation, and then the vapor barrier, and then my interior wood. So there's no ventilation in that roof whatsoever. Our Alaska floor was insulated. An improvement was realized when we put plastic on the ground in our crawl space. And I will probably do that when I get to that point next spring. I could do that now, but I don't feel like crawling around in the snow. Next video will be about insulation. Imagine that, right? The job that never seems to end. I'll be finishing off the walls and starting I'll be finishing off the walls, foaming in all the gaps that I have in the blocking on the end of my rafters, and then starting the ceiling insulation more than likely in the next video. What I've been working on this week is hanging up all the insulation in the ceiling, but then I've decided that I'm going to put collar ties in there as well for some added strength. Plus, that collar tie will allow me to run an electrical line across the top for a ceiling fan in the loft, a ceiling fan over the living area, the living room, to push that heat back down in winter, and any lighting that I may want to do up there as well if it's not included in the ceiling fan. So it'll add the strength, it'll give me room for wiring. So that's kind of what I've been working on this week. They do, right? When I first started watching Jay and Jen, I'll never forget the episode where Jay fell off the roof. The ladder decided it was going, and Jen was like trying to stop it. And Jay's a big guy. There was no way she was stopping that ladder. And I thought he was a goner there for a minute. Luckily, I haven't had moments like that yet. All right. Right? It is. Living in Alaska is like being on vacation with your best friends, except you don't get mad at them. Madhunanda, glad you could make it. Awesome to see you today. Holy smokes, Ryan, you got a big family. Are you Irish by chance? Me, and you've got 3 brothers and 2 sisters. So there's 4 boys and 2 girls, 1 nephew, 2 cousins, and your mom and dad on your mom's side. Holy smokes. That is awesome, man. That is awesome. Am I going to install a wood stove in the cabin so there's more heat so I'm warmer when I'm working? I'm going to install a wood stove. I would love to find one tomorrow, buy it and install it, but that I don't think is in the cards. I'm starting to see more and more of them show up as money gets tighter and tighter with people. I know that's a terrible way to look at it, but when you're trying to buy stuff, it's always awesome when people are trying to make some cash quick. So I will have a wood stove in the cabin. The main source of heat for the cabin will be wood. I'll do propane for backup, but it'll be a vented propane heater. That way I don't get the moisture buildup inside that I get from these buddy heaters. Suzanne, I was nervous for you when you're building the roof. We're the same age, and there's no way in heck you'd find me building the roof on a cabin. I was nervous for me too. But I'm pretty sure-footed when I'm doing dangerous stuff like that. When I'm walking across the driveway, I can trip and fall and break my neck. But when I'm doing something that's dangerous, I'm pretty confident and pretty sure-footed. I have no idea why that works. I can't wait to have a kitchen. I cannot wait to have a real full-sized oven and real counters that I can work on. I'm going to enjoy the heck out of that. Let me just tell you that when that happens, it's going to bring a whole new level to what I'm doing video-wise. In the last video, I mentioned about the camper, the trailer that I'm in right now. A little more detail, and I'll follow up on that. But I do talk about the trailer quite often. I'm just going to get 100-pound bottles, Scotty, because then I can put them in the pickup truck and take them into town and fill them. Because if you have them come out and give you a service and drop off propane on your property and fill your tanks, it costs a whole lot more money than it does to have them filled up in town. And I'm in town 5 days a week. So I'll just take them into town and have them filled up and bring them back out as I need it. Oh, okay. Dan, send me a message or send me an email. The email is on the About section of my YouTube channel. And definitely, if you're interested in the trailer, definitely. Because it will be gone this spring. I want it off the property as soon as I'm in that cabin, and so basically it can't really be moved off until spring because of the snow and everything else here. But I'd like to see it gone as soon as possible, and I'd like to see it go to somebody who really wants it. Jerry, you want to see happy? Wait a bit till Sean has moved in and has a wood stove and he's sitting by the window doing a live, grinning ear to ear. Oh, yeah, I'm grinning right now just thinking about it, Jerry. Oh, okay. Alaskan cousins, Michigan cousins, and Minnesota cousins. A lot of folks up here from Minnesota. A lot of folks up here from Minnesota. Trocan Pete, Sean, those fort building days when you were a kid are paying off. Yeah, they are. Tree forts and, just forts built in the side of the hill. They really are. Although I built more blanket forts than I did anything else. I had 3 brothers. So, we had couches all over the house. We'd build massive blanket forts. I have always been fascinated with wood, but I haven't built a whole lot. One of my favorite shows growing up was New Yankee Workshop. I loved watching Norm Abrams. Just, okay, we're going to do something simple today. And he'd create a piece of furniture that in 300 years will be worth $1 million. And I've always been fascinated by woodworking. So this has been a blast for me. This has been a ton of fun. It's been hard work, but it's been a ton of fun. Ryan, how many videos do I have? I don't know. There's probably 150 of them out there now, maybe 175 if you're not counting the shorts. But I'll tell you, man, my early videos were terrible. Oh my God, they were terrible. Philip, good to see you. Glad you can make it. Enjoy my videos of me building on your house or cabin. Been watching about 6 months now. I appreciate that, Philip. I really do. Very cool. Renice, do I have any blooper videos? I really don't, because when I do something extremely stupid or blooper worthy, I just leave it in the regular video. Like when I was uh, last winter, 2 winters ago now, right? Yeah, it was 2 winters ago. I was falling trees in the area that was going to be the chicken coop, and I fell a tree on my truck, and I fell a tree on the outhouse. I just leave those in the video, so I don't really have a blooper video. What's my status on shower and bathroom? I have an outhouse now. I'll continue to use the outhouse probably for the rest of the winter. I'm building a bathroom in the cabin, but I don't know how extensive that bathroom is going to be. I know it's going to have a shower, because I would like to just be able to shower at home. That would be super, super awesome, as opposed to having to go over to Brother Will's all the time, which I'm going to have to do today. But eventually I'll have a bathroom in there. I don't have a septic field, and I have no intentions of putting one in yet. That's down the road. I would rather have a well first and then do a gray water tank for showers, for sinks, for that kind of stuff that doesn't include human waste, because I can do that pretty simply and easily myself. But when I get a septic tank, that's a whole new ball of wax. So we'll wait. Eventually, I'll probably have a bathroom inside, but for now, that's not on the list. Definitely, Charles. You and Annalyn need to come to Alaska. She'd love it up here. It's beautiful. It is beautiful. Am I going to get a propane stove? Yes, I am, PJ Panda. I am a huge, huge fan of propane stoves. Love them. Love cooking on them. Love baking in them. Love everything about them. Thank you, Scotty. So anybody who wants to contact me via email, I do check that thing often. And I get back to everybody that sends me a message one way or another. That is the email for it. Russell uses 20-pound tanks for his kitchen stove. Last bottle lasted 2 months. I get them refilled for $20. Yeah, see, so I use 20-pound bottles for the trailer as well. During the summer, it runs my refrigerator and freezer and lasts me roughly a month between that and cooking. But at that time of the year, I'm doing a lot of cooking outside. During the winter, that bottle will easily last me 2 months. Easily last me 2 months for one bottle. Yes, you can check for leaks at the filling station. Dan, in your bathroom, is it going to be a composting toilet, or what kind of system am I going to have? Probably, I'm looking at composting toilets, but I have to figure out how I can do one for inside without having to pay $2,000 for one. So if I do a composting toilet in the cabin, it's going to be my own design, and I'll build it myself, as opposed to going to buy one that's way, way too expensive. Again, single guy, doesn't need too much fancy to use the bathroom. Now, should I end up in a relationship with somebody down the road, that will all change, I am sure. I mean, right? What's the saying? When you're a guy, the world is your urinal. We don't really need many places to go to the bathroom. So I would pay money for that too. I would pay money to watch Norm go and just lose it and throw a piece of wood across the shop. Marion, glad you could make it. Chile, Aberdeen, Scotland. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Holy smokes, Brian. That's very, very cool. Some Native Canadian, and then you're getting an ancestor DNA test to find out. I'm not really sold on those. My brother did one of those, and found out some stuff about our family heritage, but I'm not really. That's not really my thing. I'm just happy with everybody I know that's still around, and the memories I have of those that aren't. Dan, no problem, man. Yeah, shoot me off an email, and we'll talk, definitely. That's probably, Ryan, that's probably with the shorts and all included, but it could be that high. I don't really look at that count. I'm more interested in how many people are watching them than I am in how many I've made. And I'm also more interested in trying to get them a little bit better every single time than the previous one. So I'm trying for better audio, and I'm trying for better video and more entertaining through the whole thing than obviously I was with the first one that I did. Oh, wow. Almost 1,000 videos. Holy smokes. Phillips stationed at ADAC in 89. It was minus 70 wind. Yeah. Ooh. We're going to have a housewarming party when I'm fully in the cabin. Well, that would mean that Ward, Todd, and probably Brother Will would come over. So we would just call that Friday. I don't know. Obviously it'll be a house and a home to me. but it won't be big enough really to entertain. I will have a barbecue this summer though and have some people over. Definitely, I'll definitely do a barbecue this summer. Well, that would be a heck of a feat right there, Ryan. 1,000 videos before the year end. That would be cool. Used to have a gas refrigerator, would freeze anything. The freezer in this trailer, this Dometic refrigerator freezer, is stellar. Except it's either freezing everything completely or it's not freezing at all. Because the back of that refrigerator freezer unit's on the outside of the trailer. When the temperature gets too cold, the gas function won't work. So at that point, I have to do the 1 gallon jugs of water that I have 4 of them. 2 are outside frozen, 2 are inside the refrigerator, and I rotate them to get the cold air to stay in the refrigerator. Yes, yes, there are. And I'll just leave it at that. I am not the only thing that is truly missing in my life right now, besides the obvious family and kids and all that stuff being close by that I can have over for dinner every weekend, is a pup, is a dog, and I'm a dog guy. But I have purposely not gotten one because it wouldn't be right to try and have a dog in a trailer like this for me, because I'm not a small dog guy. A medium dog or bigger. I'm definitely looking to get one, but I have to be in the cabin first, and I have to be in a situation where I know I'm ready, and I'm getting very, very close to that. Philip saying, love your happiness and off-grid. You know what, dude? If you can't be happy, what's the sense of it, right? Bad things happen to everybody. Bad things happen to me all the time. It's all in how you accept them, deal with them, and try to push on and move forward. And I'm a firm believer in that most of us are in control of our own happiness every single day. And I like I was not always that way, but I like to think that I'm that way going forward. I understand the fancy. I'm a single myself. I don't need much, right? Exactly, right? And I appreciate the last part of that as well. His goal is to get 3K this year. Awesome. Holy smokes. It's hard enough for me to do one channel, dude. I don't know how you do more than that. Ward. My closest town, Pete, is Soldotna, Alaska. That is actually where I work. Soldotna, Alaska on the Kenai Peninsula. Ward's comment, Bigfoot went south. He'll be back sometime this spring. You'll start seeing tracks. Dogs are my favorite, too. Dogs are definitely my favorite. Oh, awesome. I wouldn't mind a GoPro. A GoPro would be fun. A GoPro would have added some different dimension to this, to the video in this build, that's for sure. But I have enough camera equipment right now, and it's hard enough to stop, move the camera, retake, stop, move the camera, retake. Yeah, I don't need any more of that. That's more than enough, because I do all the recording and everything myself. All right, folks, looks like we're kind of winding down here. We're about 10 minutes after. Things are slowing down a great deal. Anybody got any last-minute questions for me? Any comments, any concerns, anything like that? Did I miss one of your questions? If so, pop it in there now, and we'll definitely try and get it answered before I get off of here for today. Karen's asking how the ladies and the Black Beauties are. They're doing much better now, Karen. Much better now. They had a cold night last night. We all did, but much happier, much healthier now, it looks like. PJ Panda wants to know what's for dinner tonight. I think I'm going to cheat and do breakfast for dinner tonight. I'm thinking bacon, eggs, and potatoes for dinner. Breakfast for dinner is always a good thing. Russell. Awesome, brother. As always, good to see you. Russell has a fantastic channel, and Russell has the greatest live in the history of YouTube. So if you are not part of the Raspberry Rock Off-Grid Cabin family, you are foolish, because when I got ready to build a cabin, one of the first channels I ever watched for how to build a cabin off-grid was Russell's. Everybody's taking off. Ward's going to get a nap. Ron wants to know, what is this year coming up for you and my channel? More of the same as far as the channel goes. I'd like to get out and do a little more Alaska exploring and do a little more Alaska things this year. So there'll be fishing and that kind of stuff. Building a big garden this year. Finishing up the main part of the cabin this year. I'd like to I'll get the metal roof on. I'll get the exterior siding all done. Get the floor insulated. But yeah, more of the same. And then I'd like to get a new chicken coop built. So I think I could accomplish all of that this year. Thank you, Jerry. Much appreciated, my friend. Homestead Aquarius, thank you very much. I don't know if I said hi to you or not tonight, but hello. Thank you. Goodbye. Right? Breakfast for dinner is never wrong. I might make waffles though too, because I have a cast iron waffle grill that sits right on top of the burner on the stove that makes great waffles. Sam Jackson, good to see you, my friend. Gas prices up here right now. I just filled up the other day. It was $3.69 a gallon in Soldotna. So just between Soldotna and Kenai, the Chevron station I usually go there, it was $3.69 a gallon. I'm not crying, you're crying. I'm not sad, you're sad. Right? Yeah. If I was going to get a cat, it'd be a Maine Coon. Definitely. Whoa. Whoa. Paint on a cabin? Cabin's got to be wood. Cabin's got to be wood. Thank you, Todd, and thank you for all your help, man. Just awesome. I couldn't have got that roof on. I couldn't be where I'm at today without your help, brother. I could not be where I'm at today without your help. All right, we're going to wrap it up at that, folks. Thank you guys for joining me. I am Sean in Alaska. As always, if you enjoy the channel, do me a favor. Leave a thumbs up when you watch a video. Leave a comment. Doesn't matter what it is. Say hi. I always say hi back. I answer every single comment I get still. And I'm just very appreciative to everybody who's following along on this journey with me. Have a fantastic week. We'll see you Monday and Wednesday with shorts, Friday with a full-length video, and live again next Sunday from inside the cabin. I'm Sean in Alaska. Have a great day. Talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.